Hi, today we're going to learn simple past tense. So, for the learning goals of today, we're going to learn when to use simple past tense, the formula to build it, learning what is subject pronoun, and different types of verbs to use in a simple past tense. For the first one, the formula to build a simple past tense. There are two formulas to build a simple past tense. The first one is subject plus verb in past tense forms plus story. For example, he played tennis. So he here is the subject, played here is the verb in past tense, and tennis is the story that completes the simple past tense. Proceeding to the second one, we need to plus time to the simple past tense. For example, he played tennis last night. By writing last night, the simple past tense will become clearer as you have a time frame to tell about your tenses. So, what words that we can use to write our simple past tense with the time form? This one. What else can we substitute it? So if we are using last, for example, we can say last night, last week. So you can see here, he played tennis last week. If we are using yesterday, we can say yesterday morning or yesterday night. For example, he played tennis yesterday night. Or we can use ago. For example, 3 years ago or a few minutes ago. So we can say he played tennis a few minutes ago. So all of these are depending on your context. Alright, next we'll learn when to use simple past tense. So we use simple past tense to talk about things that had happened in the past. Subject pronoun. So what is subject pronoun? Do you know that? He, she, it, I, you, we, and they. All of these are considered as subject pronoun, which is the person or thing that is doing the action. So there are different types of verbs to use in a simple past tense. For example, when we are saying he played tennis or we played tennis, overall, all of the subject pronoun, they all share the same verb form, which is very different from simple present tense. But now we're going to learn the different types of verbs to use for all subject pronoun in simple past tense. So for verbs in simple past tense, there are two types of verbs, which is the regular and irregular. For regular verbs, there are mainly 4 different categories. So the first one is you minus the y and plus ied. For example, when you see the word carry, the last letter is Y. So when we are writing a simple present tense, we need to delete the Y and plus IED. So carry become carry. And the second one is plus D. For example, bake become baked. The third one is plus ED. This is for most verbs. For example, play become played. And the last one is double last letter, plus ed. For example, stop become stopped. So let us look at this table to have a clearer picture. Most verbs, we only plus ed to the word. For example, play become played, cook become cooked. And the second one ends with e. So the words that ends with e, for example, share, will become shared. Hope will become hoped. The third one is the verb that ends with consonant Y. For example, carry will become carried. Fry will become fried. The last one is words that ends with CVC. What does CVC mean here? C means consonant, V means vowel, and C means consonant again. So do you know what is vowel? Vowel is all of the letters with A, E, I, O, U. So consonant is all the letters that is not within A, E, I, O, U. For example, you can see here, step. So this is referring to the consonant Y. You need to cut the Y and plus IED. So for the letters that ends with CVC, we can see here step. So T is a consonant, E is a vowel, and P is a consonant. So when it fits the CVC formula, we need to double the last letter, which is B, and plus ED. So step become stepped, plus P, E, and D. For the second one, stop. Okay, let us look at T-O-P. T is consonant, O is vowel, and P is also consonant. So we need to double the last letter P and plus ED. So stop become stopped. So now we are talking about irregular forms. Irregular forms are pretty different from regular forms. We can see here, they are verbs that change into the completely different verb form. For example, see becomes saw. It becomes a completely different word. Buy become bought. Say becomes said. Eat become ate. Take become took. Drive become drove. And there are also verbs that does not change even though they are in past tense. For example, cut. When we are writing a simple past tense, it is still cut. Put, it is still put. Read will become read, even though the spelling is the same, but the pronunciation is not the same. The last one is shut. Shut still remain the same, become shut. So let's try it now. The first one, he played tennis last week. When we see the word last week, we know that this is a past tense. So we need to, you can see here, it is consonant Y. So it will become played. He played tennis last week. Okay, the second one, he kicked football last Saturday. We see here, last Saturday. It means that it is belong to past tense. So the answer is he kicked football last Saturday. The third one, they take photograph of the sunset yesterday. The answer is took. They took photograph of the sunset yesterday. This one, I eat ice cream a week ago. So what is the answer? I ate ice cream a week ago. The next one, the salesman drove to a restaurant yesterday night. So what is the answer? The salesman drove to a restaurant yesterday night. He sat down and read few minutes ago. So it will become he sat down and read few minutes ago. Okay, just to have a little add-on, I have mentioned just now when we're talking about words that ends with Y. For example, play, played. But here I mentioned that words that ends with consonant Y, we need to delete the Y and plus IED. So what I mean here is when the words ends with a consonant, plus a Y, for example, carry, R is a consonant, and Y. So only in this case we can delete the Y and plus IED. Where else for this one, Y, before Y is not consonant, A is a vowel, so we stick to this, plus ED. So we can see here, fried. R is a consonant, and there's Y. So we can use this formula, minus Y and plus IED.